So, Alex Verdugo last night, Juan Soto today. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today is day 3 of the winter meetings. It's also the Rule 5 draft. I got a couple things for you. Aside from the trade that the Yankees made last night, which we'll get into, the Yankees are also will be picking 26th in the draft next year, even though they are scheduled to drop 10 picks, so they might go 36th because they were in the second tier threshold, and they been in the top 6 picks, and they were right at the end there in the draft lottery. Had they been in the top 6 picks, they would not have dropped 10 spots. So, just something to keep in mind. But the Yankees really ever draft at the top of the rounds, so it is what it is. But the news last night, and it broke while we were live. The Yankees acquired Alex Verdugo from the Boston Red Sox. 27-year-old left-hitting outfielder contacted him, and they did not trade him for Gleyber Torres. And we talked about this last night. I thought that would have been a pretty bad trade had they traded him straight up for Gleyber Torres, but no, they traded him for Greg Weissert, reliever, Richard Fitz, who was their number 12 prospect, and Nicholas Judas as well, who wasn't even in their top 30 prospects. So they got some pitching sent over to Boston for Alex Verdugo, and which is a lot of people are not happy with this trade, saying he's a malcontent, even though he was unhappy in Boston. But there's footage last night showing him interacting with fans, talking about his hitting style, and it was pretty cool, actually. But he was benched for not hustling once by Alex Cora, and apparently Clayton Kershaw didn't want him in LA too. So there's stuff being floated around, but there are guys here like Gleyber Torres who was not benched for not hustling too. So even Giancarlo Stanton not benched for not hustling. So this is not just indicate strictly exclusive to Alex Verdugo. This happens to other players too. But with that said, he's a decent contact hitter too. I mean, I'm looking here, 264 batting average, and remember, he's an upgrade over all we had last year, with the exception of Aaron Judge, upgrade over every outfielder we had. So 13 home runs, 54 RBIs, 37 doubles. 37 doubles, okay? 5 triples. On base percentage of 324, slugging 421, OPS 745. So he puts the ball in play, and he hits a lot of doubles. Perfect gap hitter for the baseball, for the Yankee Stadium. So, and you add him, and if they add Juan Soto today, this makes the lineup, it lengthens the lineup a whole lot. Adds 2 lefty hitters, which they said they wanted to add. Okay. It also, surprisingly enough, improves their defense. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he was a terrible defender." And I even pointed out their on base percent, the fielding percentage, which was 990. Okay. But they're telling me that I'm not using good enough metrics, so I need to go further. Okay, how about 9 defensive runs saved last year? 9 defensive runs saved and 11 assists in the outfield. So those are your advanced metrics. I have to look those up too. So you add him and Juan Soto, and let's talk about maybe platooning Judge in center and Verdugo in the corner outfield spot and so on and so forth. That still remains to be seen. But at the very least, it sounds as if they're probably going to utilize Everson Pereira or the new kid they got, Oscar Gonzalez, as platoon pieces or fourth outfielder play as well. So give these guys a break and give some versatility. And Gonzalez has a gun in the outfield, cannon for an arm, and Pereira's got some athleticism too. So they're not going to be as bad as people think defensively. Okay, but he's not here. He's a solid contact hitter, solid gap hitter. He's not here for his defense. Okay, and maybe he'll be a 1-year stopgap, which it sounds like he will be a 1-year stopgap, and then the Yankees can give him a qualifying offer next year, get prospects for him, and move on. He's scheduled to make $9 million this year in arbitration, and if he moves on, then Jason Dominguez takes over in center field. Then you have Soto, Dominguez, Aaron Judge. But look at this outfield right now. Look at this. That's what you'd be looking at right now in the outfield. Alex Verdugo, Juan Soto, if he comes here today, or comes here, period, and Aaron Judge. Okay? Yes, they could have gotten Max Kepler, maybe, or a couple other guys, Kevin Kiermaier, Jung-Hoo Lee, and so on. And if Soto doesn't happen, Jung-Hoo Lee, I think, is a credible option. He's the only other guy, I said this last night, the only other guy available in any way that has a career on-base percentage of over 400, just like Juan Soto does. They're the only 2 players. So putting on base percentage, high level on base percentage guys in front of Judge creates more RBI opportunities for Judge. So today's going to be a big day. Okay, I'm going live again this afternoon for a couple hours. Hopefully the news breaks then. I can't wait to break it to you. But if it breaks before that, I'll get it to you. If it breaks afterward, I'll get it to you. So if for some reason you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that button right now. Make sure you're subbed, okay? And hit the notification bell too. That way you're at the front of the line if and when Juan Soto news comes in. And let me know what you think about Verdugo, Juan Soto. Did you hear about his defensive run save? Did you hear about? Because all we heard is people saying this is a terrible trade, bad defender, and so on and so forth. And I haven't heard anybody mention the defensive run save, his fielding metrics, and so on. So, and he also hits well at Yankee Stadium. And I'd rather have him here not punishing the Yankees, because he did punish the Yankees on a regular basis, than I'd rather have him doing that. I'd rather have him punish the Red Sox, who apparently he hates. So maybe that adds another weapon to our tool shed. But he also brings a flair and an aura and a swag about him that Nick Swisher had. And people were complaining about Swisher's attitude when he came here. And then he became one of the beloved players on the Yankees. I still love him. He's great. Okay. So I don't see Verdugo becoming a malcontent here. It's a different vibe here. Different vibe here in New York than it was in Boston. So I'm going to give him a chance if he stays here. I know there's suggestions that he might be flipped for Soto. I don't know. But I wouldn't flip him to get Trent Grisham. I wouldn't do that. So, and I don't see the point. And now that the Yankees have apparently added Chase Hampton as part of the trade return, they might speed up this process. It sounds like Cashman's trying to get this done now and solidify his outfield so he could pivot to other positions. And even though he said he was covered yesterday in the infield, he's also looking for a bat in the infield quietly. So I don't know if that means Jeimer Candelaria. I don't know. We'll see what it means. Or IKF. He's got 12 teams on him as a utility guy. And, DJ LeMahieu's got 3 years left, but he's on his decline as well, even though he responded well to Matt Casey, kind of resurrected himself a little bit, but Matt Casey's no longer here. So that still remains to be seen as to what they bring in. But this also suggests to me that they're likely going to trade Gleyber Torres. Okay, and we've talked about this for like a year. Okay, not pushing to be traded, pushing to consider it as an option. It's a difference. Okay, he's got trade value, and if they can get a good reliever here for him, you just added Verdugo here. If you add Soto, you're adding payroll. And if you move Torres for controllable pitching on the cheap, then you stay around the $290-ish million threshold area. Okay. And they still might move Kakashioka. They still might move some other players. They moved a couple of them yesterday. Okay. Off the 40 man, namely Greg Weisser. So there's still a lot of moves that are going to happen, I think, in Yankee land. I think the Yankees are just getting started. The Yankee team is going to look different, but I want to know what your thoughts are in terms of Alex Verdugo. Load up the comments. Let's get into this right now. I'm excited, and I'm curious to know what you think and what you're hearing out there. All I heard last night were people unhappy with the trade. A couple of open-minded people, okay, but no, people saying how bad of a fielder he was. But those are his metrics, okay? High fielding percentage, 9 defensive runs saved, 11 outfield assists. So he can do the job, okay? And I know people are trashing Juan Soto, but he also has a high on-base percentage. I mean, high on-base percentage and the high fielding percentage. Okay? So that matters. And if you have a field, whether it be eventually Jason Dominguez or somebody else, or Aaron Judge, who's, coming off a toe injury, but apparently he's healthy. So if they platoon him, if you have somebody like Oscar Gonzalez getting reps out there who's got a cannon for an arm, just like Aaron Judge, then it makes having a subpar a defensive player like a Juan Soto less problematic. Especially if you play them closer to the line, and the center fielder who's got range can cover more of the ground there, making it easier for him to get to the ball. So just food for thought. But let me know what you think about this, gang. And if Juan Soto came today, or just came period, would you be happy with Verdugo and Soto? And I do think Verdugo is going to be a stopgap for Jason Dominguez. And I'm totally fine with that. Maybe he'll get moved at the deadline. But if he's playing well, why would they move him at the deadline? Okay? So let's get into this, gang. And I'll talk to y'all later when I go live. Yeah. Let's go Yankees.